G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildkard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, you are here today for a review that I did not watch. I honestly thought this was tomorrow. And also, if you watch my channel, you know my stance on the idea of a selection policy based on who your mum and dad is. And I think that's just not the spirit of rugby. And yeah, and I've spent, countless hours online arguing with people about this and end up being accused of being a racist. Oh my goodness, Walker, you must hate the Aboriginal people, man. You know what? And then I kind of realized after, wasting my life away, I don't really need to prove to any of these people whether I'm racist or not because God, right, the great almighty knows exactly who I am and that's all that matters, right? I don't need to convince anybody whether I'm racist or not. So yeah, since you're here, I thought, I want to talk about, I get asked a lot in my channels like, hey, Wildcard, why do you like rugby? Like, my Asian friends, they don't watch rugby. Why do you like it so much? I think this would be a good time for me to talk about maybe a little bit about my past, about why I love rugby, why I think rugby is the greatest sport in the world, and I think that I think that the way that the rugby is run in some sense is not really too befitting the greatest game in the world because of the way that some people take the game for their own benefits. So yeah, so let's talk about that. And honestly, I don't have anything to say because I didn't watch this game. So yeah, sit down, relax, drink some coffee, drink some tea if you're Englishman, and I drink coffee because I am a Chinglishman. I don't drink tea, but hey, relax, drink some, have some beverage, and let me tell you maybe some of my, my teenage years of being an Asian guy living in Australia, and how I got involved with rugby. Right, so yeah, so obviously I'm an immigrant. My family's an immigrant. We moved to Australia when I was a child, and I struggled with English language. Like I did not speak any English when I came here, and the only phrase that I knew was how to say my name. Like my name is Wildcard, and I don't know. And and me no English, right? That's my go-to three sentences. And it was really a struggle for me to learn English, to be honest. Even today, if you ask me to explain to you how the English grammar works, I actually don't know. Honestly, I've just like everything you hear me saying, it's just because I've been just speaking English for so long, for so many years. I just know what to be put into the sentence so that the sentence will make sense. I don't actually know how, like, if you like, I actually know how to explain like what an adjective is, or like I guess I know what a verb is, but I really don't know how the grammar actually works, despite the fact that I actually went to a grammar school. Quite embarrassing, but yeah, it is just what it is. I just, to me, the whole grammar just didn't make sense to me at all. It's almost just it is literally a different language and literally just didn't make any sense. And the only way for me to learn it was to like hardwire it into my brain by just reading it, writing it, and speaking it repetitively for a very, very long time. And it's hard. And for a lot of time as a child, it was hard to communicate with people. I don't blame people. And it's hard to make friends when I was a child because like people can't even really talk to me. 3 sentences of I don't know, and I don't speak English, and me no English. Actually, I can't even say that. Me no English didn't really get you much friends. But hey, I didn't have much enemies either. But it is just it's not like I was bullied or anything or terrible. No, it's just like I do my thing, people do their thing, and just carried on with life and everything. And I remember, in school as well, like it's not like everybody, like, I don't have abundance of friends. I just have a couple of friends, and I don't have enemies either. And it's just like there's a lot of like neutral acquaintances in school for me, so it's not really like that enjoyable, to be honest. It's I just feel like I had this feeling where it's like, like I'm almost like an invisible person. It's like, if I just don't show up to school, nobody would even notice. That's like the feeling I got when I was in school. Of course, it was, there was a couple of guys that were just absolute horrendous to me. I remember there was one guy, I just don't know why he hates me so much. He used to call me pan face because like Asians have like flat faces. He used to call me pan face, and I used to have hair that just kind of like sits down like this, and he used to call me helmet pan face. And I just didn't really like, it's just like it's like, yeah, all right, whatever, dude. Like, I don't know, like it's just like one guy. I don't know why he really hates me, but I would like that's the worst I got, right? In terms of like what you might call bullying. So I wasn't really bullied, but it's just the thing that really got me was just like really difficult to make like to make I guess like friends as you would as a normal person, like to make like I guess like a deep meaningful friendship with people. And that was just, yeah, that made my life in school quite a bit, maybe a bit, yeah, a little bit lonely, a little bit, yeah, I feel like a bystander looking at other people doing things a lot of times. And yeah, and I got to just do the stuff that what I enjoy the most, right? And obviously when you can't really speak English, you can't just go to the Dungeons and Dragon Club and and role play, right? That's not gonna happen. So I focused on things that didn't really need a language, so to speak, to get myself involved with being socializing with people, right? So that got me really into the sporting aspect of life. I like going to the gym. I literally did almost every sport that is available to me, right? That I can participate, right? I obviously sports like swimming, anything that's to do in the water. Other than rowing, I did, it's out of water technically, but anything swimming, I didn't do any of that because I can't really swim. But anything like that's on land, pretty much every sport I've tried. I played basketball, I played tennis, I did soccer when I was a very young kid because that was, obviously the soccer is the most popular sport in the world. I tried rugby league, I played just about everything. You name it, I've tried it. And yeah, and this, a lot of things didn't go my way. One of the things I find in sport was really difficult for me because I was like a pretty chubby kid, and obviously, I'm not the most athletic person either. I'm just a chubby kid, relatively maybe a little bit like above average in terms of strength. But like I wasn't fast. I wasn't even hand-eye coordinated. I was, not by any means imaginable a good sportsman, right? I remember like I played basketball, and this is why I stopped playing basketball. I remember I was in a match. This was probably like under 13 in high school, and I was like in the C team or something. I got the ball, and I was like around the 3 meter line, and then like the guys were like on one side was like pass to me, and the other guy on the other side was pass to me, and there was a defender behind me, and the coach is like, yeah, pass it, pass it, pass it, and then I just panicked, and I just threw the ball above my head over the top towards the goal, towards the hoops, and it just completely missed. I just literally just threw it backwards. I taking a shot backwards, and the coaches just look at me like, everybody was just looking at me like, what are you doing? And I was like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay, maybe basketball is not the sport for me. But yeah, and obviously, not the tallest person either. So yeah, basketball was just one of the sports where I tried and yeah, it didn't really work out for me. And that kind of goes like the same story for me for pretty much every other sport, right? I remember tennis as well. I remember playing tennis. Like I'm not like before I went to the I went to a private school and they have a tennis club. I never really played like I never went to like how to play like the tennis proper tennis training or anything before I attended the school. But I did play tennis with my friend like in their tennis court like after school when I was like really small, right? It's not like I've never touched a racket, but it's like you go to your friend's house or whatever and then you play some tennis in there it's like you play some tennis and then like that's like like you know what I mean, like you just pick up a racket and had a hit. That's the extent of how much tennis I've had, right? And I remember going to the tennis club at my school and I was like, okay, maybe I want to take this seriously and get like some real training and maybe become a proper tennis player. I guess I'm instead of just someone that's picked up the rock once in the past and hit a ball a few times. So I went in I remember there was a trial, like it was literally like the first day, so they had to like figure out what level you are and put you into different teams. And I still remember this. And I played against the guy who played halfback in my rugby team, right? Later on, in the rugby season. But I remember playing this guy. He was really good, okay? He played tennis like, he probably is one of the kids that had a tennis court in his backyard. He will be one of the kids where I've like randomly went to his house and taken up a racket and hit a ball, right? Like he will be one of those that plays since he was like 3 years of age, right? And then I remember playing him and he was dominating me, or just flogging me. Like I had no chance of beating this guy, flogging me. And I remember it's literally just like straight sets. I remember like, he was serving, right? He was like pretty much gonna win the game in like it's pretty much like the final set. He's about to win the game. He was serving, and I remember he hit the ball and he messed up the serve, right? And the ball just came straight at me, like a bullet came straight at me, and I was like, oh shit! I tried to dodge out of the way, and as I was dodging out of the way, the ball hit the handle of my racket, right? And I was like, bang! I was like, oh, thank God, I got 1 point, right? And I was like, cool, 15-30, right? And he was like, no. The ball hit your racket. Technically, by the rule, you've taken a hit on the serve. I was like, you almost took me, like hit me. How is that me attempting to hit the ball? He was like, no. I get the point. So it's like 45-0 or 40 love. Okay, whatever. I don't play tennis. And after that, I just thought to myself, this game sucks. Tennis is the worst sport in the world. Okay, like what? What kind of rule is this? And then afterwards, I went to like the judges, something like, yeah, technically that's true, but it is just what it is. Next time, don't try to touch the ball with your racket if it's and I was just like, this has to be the worst sport in the world. And after that, I never played tennis again. I never touched a tennis racket again after that. I never watched tennis again. And tennis to me is just a terrible, terrible sport. And anyway, so yeah, apparently, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, let me know if you're a tennis fan, but I think it's a terrible sport. So I never watched that, never played tennis again. And so yeah, every sport I try, there's always something that I just feel like, yeah, not really quite right for me. Basketball, not really quite right for me. Tennis, not quite right. Soccer as well, I'm not very good at dribbling the ball. So they try to put me as goalkeeper, and I just hate being goalkeeper, like standing at the back and watching everybody else score, and I'm just standing there like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to stop the ball now. But yeah, anyway, it's just like, if you go play soccer, right, and you're the goalkeeper, you're not actually playing soccer, are you? Right? So I'm like, yeah, I don't really like that either. And then I play rugby league a little bit as well. And then in high school, they didn't have rugby league. Private school didn't have rugby league, didn't have AFL, just rugby union. I'm like, all right, close enough to rugby league. Let me try it. Boy. I remember just going in, they're like, all right, you look like you could be, I was a number 8, right? And then I started playing prop because I was a chubby kid. And they're like, all right, look, you look like you could be a number 8, or, why don't we get you to play for a number 8? And I just remember, picking up the ball, running it from back to scrum. And I'm just like, yeah, this ball is fine. Like, it's not, I don't have to do anything crazy. Like, and then, it's like, occasionally I have to pick up the ball, but I really don't have to touch the ball. I don't, my hand-eye coordination issue is not an issue for me. I don't really have to catch the ball because I'm forward. I just go around and like smash people, like clean people out of the rocks, lifting people at the lineouts, and that's it. And it's just like, I can play the game of rugby without playing the game of rugby. You know what I mean? Like, everything that has to do with the ball, which is my weakness, I don't have to participate in it. And then it's like, I'm like fat and slow and unfit. It doesn't matter. You're forward. We don't need you to be fat and unfit and fit. We just need you to just like literally stand there, right, by the rock and pillar, and then block people from running through, picking up the ball and run straight through. And you just have to, just block them from doing that. And I was like, great, right? This is pretty fun. And then I still remember, and this is what really got me across the line, right? This is what really got me across the line to think rugby is the greatest sport in the world. And I have to thank the director of rugby at my school, right? I don't know if I should mention his name, but let's just call him Ronnie. Okay, Ronnie. I still remember. He is just the greatest guy ever, right? He's the director of rugby. I don't even know if nobody knows what he does, but he just loves rugby, and you can tell, right? I remember, this is me, right? This is me. As you can imagine, failing every sport, played a bit of, went to trial and rugby, just, did whatever. I didn't know what I was doing, picked that ball, ran a few times, and then the next day, I remember like at lunchtime, right? Ronnie was just like walking around, and he saw me, and we came over to me, and he grabbed my hand, right? Like he squeezed it really hard. He goes, hey, I saw you play yesterday. You did a great job. Hey, you look like Zins and Brooke out there. Hey, you did a great job, mate. And I was thinking, what? I did a good job? He's just shaking my hand like, I don't even know how to play the sport. He thinks I did a good job. And he was like, hey, you look like the great Zins and Brooke. And I was like, oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. I don't know who Zins and Brooke is. He's like, you know who Zins and Brooke is? The great All Black. Zins and Brooke. That's you. That's going to be you one day. I was like, God, I'm going to be a great All Black. Zins and Brooke one day. I don't even know how to play. I just started yesterday. And he thinks I'm great. And like never in my life did I think that me, the little chubby Asian kid who can't even speak English properly and with a flat pan face and, and a helmet hair, right? And then this guy is shaking my hand. The director of rugby is shaking my hand, giving me a really squeezed, firm handshake and telling me that I'm some great All Black I've never even heard of before. And he thinks I'm really good at the game. And boy, no other sport got me feeling like I can be exactly who I am and be part of a team that is a valued member of the team and, and just be great at being me. And that's rugby. There's no need for me to be, better at hitting the ball with a racket. There's no need for me to be like 6 foot tall to play basketball. There's no need for me to lose weight or anything. And there's no need for me to do anything. I just be me, the fat chubby Asian kid who like can't even catch and you can't even run very fast and get tired really easily and just like lifting weights. That's just me. And just perfect rugby player, perfect for the forwards. And that to me is why rugby is the greatest sport in the world. There's no other sport that can do that. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be skinny, you can be tall, you can be fast, you can be slow, you can be like me who can't even catch the ball, and you can play rugby. And you can be very good at it. You can be appreciated for being just who you are for your talents. And that is why I think rugby is the greatest sport in the world. And that, to me, that just changed my life. Like, there were days in school where I'm like, God, I don't want to go to school. Maybe just come up with, just wag it, right? And I just don't want to go. And then I remember, oh, God, I got rugby training in the afternoon. Or I got to go to the gym, right? And then that's literally the reason I get out of bed and go to school, because of rugby training, because I got to go to the gym or whatever to get myself prepared for the game on the weekend. And that's what rugby is. That's what rugby is about. And, you can understand why I think this sort of stuff, right? It's not the spirit of rugby. It's not the spirit of rugby. I know the intent is good, right? Their intentions are good, but I think it's not a spirit of rugby. Rugby is for everyone. It doesn't matter who your mum and dad is. It doesn't matter if you're tall or short or fat or skinny. It's for everyone. And I think that you can do this. You can promote the Aboriginal team, the Pacific heritage and culture without having restrictive selection policies. And that's why I think rugby is better than this. Rugby is more than this. Rugby is the only sport that's beyond this. And it's really disappointing for me to see this. But yeah, let me know your experience. And I just want to show you, the same guy, Ron. He I still remember he handed everyone their first 15 jersey, and this is my first 15 jersey. Right, this is my first 15 jersey, and and this is obviously my number, right? My number, my first 15 jersey, and I remember he giving this jersey to us and said, "Boys, treasure the jersey, honor it because there's only one jersey in the world that is better than this one. There's only one jersey in the world you can get that's gonna be better than this one." And he didn't say which one it is, but I think he meant the All Black jersey at the time. But hey, let me know what jersey is the one jersey better than the jersey that you had in school, right? He said there's only one that's better than that. He didn't say what it is, but I guess everybody's different. It could be the All Black jersey, it could be the Wallabies jersey, it could be the Springbok jersey, it could be whatever. But I just like the fact that he said, there's only one better, and then he didn't tell anyone. He didn't say what it is. Which one? Which one's better? So he's up for interpretations, and just beauty. It's just rugby. It's just rugby, and that's what's so good about it. It doesn't matter who you are. There's a jersey that you can earn that is the pinnacle that represents whoever you are, the pinnacle of your country, of your beliefs or whatever. There's one that is a pinnacle that you can earn, and that is out there, and it's up to you to decide what it is, not the politicians, not the regulations and rules and whatnot. It's for you to decide what that ultimate goal is for you in your career as a rugby player. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. Let me know if you have similar stories, and I think that this is why I think rugby is the greatest sport in the world, and you can agree or disagree. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Cheers.